Mercedes Moné decides the ring isn't enough. She's not just dropping hints about her next match or title reign. She's laying out a blueprint that could flip the entire industry on its head. In a recent chat with KT Sackhoff, she said something that slipped past most fans, but deserves a neon spotlight. It's not just a throwaway line. It's a signal flare. And if you're not paying attention, you might miss the moment she changes wrestling forever. Let's peel back the layers of who Mercedes is, what she's planning, and why this could be the spark that ignites something massive. Mercedes Moné's no stranger to the spotlight. Back in WWE as Sasha Banks, she was a trailblazer. Think back to her Iron Woman match with Bayley at NXT TakeOver, Respect in 2015, or that brutal Hell in a Cell clash with Becky Lynch in 2019. She didn't just wrestle. She rewrote what women's wrestling could be, racking up 5 Raw Women's Championships and a SmackDown title along the way. Then she walked away in 2022, fed up with creative missteps, and took her talents to New Japan. Over there, she shocked the world, snagging the IWGP Women's Championship and proving she could hang with the best on a global stage, even if too many fans slept on that run. Fast forward to 2024, and she's in AEW, reportedly the highest-paid woman in wrestling history, making her grand U.S. return at Dynamite. Big business. The crowd lost it, and she's been a roller coaster ever since. Heel turns, promo debates, and matches so good they'd make you forget the criticisms. She's not just a wrestler, she's a phenomenon. But here's where it gets juicy. She's not satisfied with being the best in the ring. She wants to own the whole game. That interview with Sackhoff? It's gold. She said, "I always said back in the day that I wanted to be a shareholder and be a part of helping and creating. So yeah, I definitely want to help own a wrestling company one day and be the woman of change and voice of change over there for any wrestling company that wants to have me." Read that again. She's not dreaming of another title belt or a WrestleMania main event. She's gunning to be a power player, a decision maker, a CEO in the truest sense. This isn't some cute gimmick to slap on a t-shirt. She's already the CEO in AEW, strutting out to that earworm theme song. But this goes deeper. Outside wrestling, she's a businesswoman. Modeling, acting in The Mandalorian, building a portfolio that'd make most CEOs jealous. She's got the brains, the hustle, and a vision that stretches way beyond the squared circle. And what she does next could send shockwaves through an industry that's tougher to crack than a steel chair. Let's map this out, because the wrestling world's a jungle. WWE's the king of the hill, 80 to 85% market share, a global machine churning out billions with stars like Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, and a TV deal that dwarfs everyone else. AEW's the scrappy number 2, but don't kid yourself, they're miles behind. Sure, they had a hot streak in 2019 and 2020, winning some Wednesday night rating scraps, but WWE's financials, attendance, and star power were never in danger. New Japan's a respected player, but they're not shaking the U.S. market. TNA's got a pulse, thanks to a WWE partnership, and NLW and NWA are footnotes. Tiny outfits scrambling for scraps. If Mercedes wants to own a piece of this pie, she's got to pick her spot. Buying into TNA or MLW seems plausible. They're small enough for her to afford, and her name could boost their profile. Imagine her turning MLW into a must-watch indie with her star power, or revitalizing TNA's women's division, once home to legends like Gail Kim. But here's the catch. Those moves won't rattle WWE or AEW. They're blips, not bombshells. Could she go bigger? Starting her own promotion's the dream, right? Picture it. Moné Wrestling, a sleek, women-focused company with her at the helm cherry-picking talent from across the globe. She's got the charisma to pull it off. Fans adore her, and wrestlers respect her. But the reality's brutal. AEW only launched because Tony Khan had a billionaire dad and caught WWE at a weak moment. 2019's main roster was a creative dumpster fire, and fans were starving for something fresh. AEW kept it simple. Fun stories, killer matches, and a roster mixing vets like Chris Jericho with hungry unknowns. It worked, until Triple H took over WWE in 2022 and flipped the script. He streamlined the product, logical plots, big stars, good enough wrestling, and suddenly, AEW's audience started drifting back to WWE. Khan's crew still touts the best wrestling, but sloppy stories like that Death Riders mess with Jon Moxley have fans scratching their heads. Mercedes would need more than talent and grit to break through. She'd need cash, timing, and a hook that neither WWE nor AEW can touch. What about AEW itself? She's a cornerstone there, current TBS champion, locked in for what's likely a multi-year deal, drawing eyes every week. Could she snag an equity stake? Tony Khan's got no reason to say no if she brings something huge to the table, say, a partnership that boosts AEW's women's division into a legit rival to WWE's. She's already their biggest female draw, outshining names like Toni Storm and Britt Baker. But Khan's a control freak. Handing over shares isn't his style unless the payoff's astronomical. Plus, AEW's got its own headaches. Attendance is slipping, and their We're the Wrestling First promotion vibe isn't landing like it used to. Mercedes could push for influence, maybe co-run the women's division with a stake in the company, but it's a long shot. Her best play might be a hybrid. Team up with a smaller outfit, inject her vision, and grow it into something unique. Think a women's wrestling league with a global streaming deal, leveraging her New Japan ties and AEW cred. Now let's get real about the grind. Owning a promotion isn't glamorous, it's a slog. Booking's a nightmare. Balancing egos, crafting stories that click, and keeping fans hooked week after week. Look at AEW's peaks and valleys. They soared with simple feuds like MJF versus Cody, then stumbled with overcooked arcs like the Blackpool Combat Club mess. Financials are worse. Venues, talent contracts, production costs, all bleeding cash until you hit a tipping point. WWE's got decades of infrastructure. AEW had Khan's wallet. Mercedes has money, sure. Her AEW deal's rumored to be 7 figures, but enough to bankroll a startup. Doubtful. And creative? She's a genius in the ring, but booking's a different beast. Does she want to trade sellout crowds chanting her name for late nights arguing over finishes? She's juggling wrestling, acting, modeling. Adding promotion owner could tip the scales from thriving to drowning. But don't count her out. This is Mercedes Moné. Resilience is her middle name. She walked out of WWE at her peak, bet on herself, and landed on top in Japan and AEW. If anyone can defy the odds, it's her. Picture this. 5 years from now, she's running a promotion that's small but mighty, spotlighting women like never before. Maybe it's a streaming exclusive, think Netflix or Amazon, built around stars she's mentored, with her as the face and brains. She's got the pedigree. A pioneer in WWE's women's evolution, a champion everywhere she's gone, and a fan base that'd follow her to the moon. Her CEO persona isn't just flair, it's a promise. She wants to be the voice of change, and that's not empty talk. She's seen the industry's flaws, WWE's glass ceilings, AEW's growing pains, and she's cocky enough to think she can fix them. So why should fans care? Because this isn't just about Mercedes climbing another mountain. It's about what she could drag up with her. A successful Moné-led company could force WWE to double down on women's stories, push AEW to tighten their game, and give indie talent a new stage. Even if she fails, the attempt alone could spark ideas. Maybe a women's wrestling boom we haven't seen since the Knockouts era. She's not here to coast. She's here to disrupt. And what happens next? That's the million-dollar question. Could she pull it off, or is she biting off more than she can chew? Maybe she's better off dominating AEW, stacking titles, and letting someone else wrestle with the spreadsheets. Or maybe, just maybe, she's about to rewrite the rules again, and we're all along for the ride. What do you think? Can Mercedes Moné turn her CEO dreams into reality, or should she stick to stealing the show in the ring? Let that simmer, because this story's only heating up.